but we didn't get it done. We still have everything sitting in front of us as far as controlling our destiny and where we want to go, and that's to Atlanta. It starts with Missouri. Injury update, Leon Orr is questionable with his knee. Thought he'd be back by now, but we'll see how he works this week. Matt Jones, was not a knee, it was more of an ankle that he had from the previous game. He felt it was a little loose in the game. We think we'll get him back Wednesday. DJ Humphreys had a knee in the game. Think we'll get him back Wednesday. LaTroy Pittman's, everything's come out fine. He's day-to-day, but everything is checked out to be normal, and then we'll get Vernon Hargraves back on Tuesday. 91st edition of Homecoming, Gator Grout, Flavet Field, 22 seniors will be there. Welcome back all of our alumni and have the captain's dinner Friday night. Missouri, good football team. Gary Pinkel's a good friend and an outstanding football coach. Very uncharacteristic, 5 turnovers last week, a couple tip balls, interceptions and things. But Matty Malk, I think, is a very good player. Throws the ball extremely well. His last couple of games, I don't know if they've helped him a lot. They've had a couple tip balls here and there that have gone into other people's hands. Hansborough and Murphy are 2 really good backs that have been there for a while. White and Sasser and Hunt are 3 very good experienced receivers. 3 out of 5 offensive linemen are back. Defensively, Dave Steck does a great job with their guys. They're very active up front, and Golden and Ray are 2 guys you got to account for. They're both, I think, Ray's one of the leaders in tackles for loss and sacks in the country, and they're very good on special teams. So we're looking forward to a 7 o'clock kickoff in the Swamp. Our crowd last Saturday was amazing. It was, they did a great job helping us in that ball game and certainly creating some confusion for the other team's offense. But so we really appreciate that, and we'll need it again Saturday night. I'll open up for any questions.
Well, what's the situation at quarterback? Will you consider playing 2 this week? Or?
Yeah, they both will play this week, and we'll work through the week and see how things go, and we'll see how it goes there. Right now Jeff would probably start, but they both are going to play.
Mark, is there a chance that Pittman could be back this week?
Possibly, Mark. I don't want to go out on a limb right now. Everything, thank goodness, take football out of the equation is fine. So there's a good possibility he's going to get some physical activity today and tomorrow, and we'll kind of move from there. But until the doctors tell me he's good to go, right now, no. But I'm not going to rule it out.
And can you just take us through what's going on during a situation like that? Because there were fans screaming, seemingly angry that your players weren't on a knee, and then upset that you guys were huddling and going through play sheets and stuff like that.
Well, the information is relayed to me immediately that he had movement and that they felt like he was, of precautionary reasons, that he was going to be fine. We took that time, and we've not instructed our players to take a knee in those situations. Anytime someone gets hurt, we don't always know the severity of the injury or the situation. So that's not something that we've done or anywhere I've ever been that we've ever done. But we were trying to preview the next set of downs for our defense, and we were also trying to get our situation ready for a field goal block after I had received the information that LaTroy was fine. I went over to make sure he was fine. I looked at LaTroy. LaTroy said he was fine. I talked to our training staff. They said he was fine. They thought everything was going to be fine. So that's the situation. Well, we didn't get enough movement on either down, to start. Got a bounce off of a guy in the first down situation. Felt like we had a shot to get in the end zone. Just got bounced around a little bit. On the second down play, we thought we might get a different look, and they did a good job of getting penetration inside. The third down call was an outstanding call.
And in terms of the running back rotation, what does Kelvin need to improve? Mac Brown, seems to have a nose for the goal line, wasn't in there. What do those guys need to kind of earn your trust there?
Well, I mean, again, it's not just about carrying the ball. There's protection, and there's a lot of things that go involved with being a running back. And those are things, to me, that we're utilizing the running back as a pass catcher in a lot of situations. And Brandon's a guy that's got really good hands, and he's a guy that we trust a little bit more in the passing game, which he showed you he's very good at that and in space. But those guys, it's a long season, and those guys got to continue to progress in what we're doing. and they're both very talented runners.
And Vernon, what was his injury?
He just had a head injury. He should be fine.
Well, the way that this one was lost and with so many missed opportunities, is there a chance that that kind of sticks? And when you look at the film, do you see all those missed opportunities and kind of lament this game getting away from you guys?
Well, again, I think that anytime you come down to a game that ends in that fashion, which we've had two others we came out on top of, where we made those plays. And that's the example you use for your team moving forward. We've been in these situations before, and we've made the plays, and in this situation we didn't. And that's, to me, it was never a question of effort and emptying the bucket and putting all you got out there. That we did that. We've got to execute in those situations and make the plays that you give LSU credit they did.
Also, 9 turnovers on offense in the last 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
What's the answer to those problems? And they're costing you points, obviously.
Well, we had 10 points off turnovers in the last game. Jeff's got to hold the ball high and tight. We got down below his elbow on the situation. It was not a hard hit that happened there. We can't underthrow the deep ball in that situation. Down the sideline, DeMarcus has a step on the guy. We got to execute in that situation. And then we throw into covers. Probably should have taken the ball outside on the slants there late. So, and I can't go through all the other. I could for a while, but we have had some protection issues that have forced interceptions. We've had some poorly played balls down the field. We've had some poorly thrown balls down the field. So it's not something that's not being addressed. It's being addressed, and we got to do a better job on defense of creating some opportunities as well. And that's something we've been able to do all season until Saturday. We were -3 in turnover margin. So, again, we've got to be able to get the ball off people, but also certainly take better care of it, and no doubt.
Well, it looks like Caleb Brantley's been coming on really strong the last couple of weeks. It seems like he does a good job of getting penetration. But at times, it seems like sometimes he gets in the backfield and maybe doesn't make a play even though he gets penetration. Are you seeing that? What do you like of what he's done so far? What do you think he needs to do better?
I think that the first thing, I think he's a very disruptive player. I think he's got a very good first step for a 310, 12-pound guy. Caleb's biggest is just consistency in his performance. Consistently doing it well, consistently playing with great effort. And there's no question he is extremely talented. He's a very talented guy. He can hold the point, but he's got, for a big guy to have the movement skill that he has, certainly God's blessed him with a lot of ability. But again, a lot of times, whether we're in a movement situation up front or he's playing technique up front, being able to get in the backfield and being disruptive and making the ball run east and west is sometimes for me is good enough. Now I'd like for him to make the tackle a lot, but when you're being disruptive in the run game, it's very helpful.
And then you've talked about wanting to get Ahmad Fullwood more involved. Among the things that he can bring, how much is, with your receivers having issues catching the ball, how much is just his catch radius and size could help you out there?
Well, certainly, and he played a lot more this past Saturday, and he'll continue to. Mm-hmm.
Why did you guys struggle setting the edge to the left side? They kept getting big runs towards the left side of the field.
To the left side. Well, I mean, I can't go back through my mind in any specific run. They do a good job running the football. They did a nice job. I don't think it was anything from our defensive left we weren't trying to do the correct way. Maybe they got the edge over there a little bit more than they normally do. I don't know if you're talking about a specific run in the game. I'm not really sure what you're asking me.
They just kept getting long yards running on the outside, so it seemed like you guys couldn't contain the runs towards the inside.
Right. Well, we'll do a better job next week.
But why couldn't you?
Huh?
Why couldn't you do it?
I don't know. You're talking about a specific run. Ask me. I don't really know what run you're talking about. It was consistently they hurt us inside more than they hurt us on the perimeter, in my opinion. They did a nice job of running the inside zone extra more than they did on the bouncing the ball to the perimeter. But that's my recollection of it.
Will, are you comfortable with the offense's pace right now? 57 plays last week. Do you like where the team's tempo is? Would you like them to play faster?
A couple of those are taken away by a punt return for a touchdown and a punt return to the 9-yard line and a 2-yard drive for a touchdown. The issue we're getting into is third down. You know, you've got to be able to convert and stay on the field. You want to go tempo. I want to go fast too. But if you're not getting first downs, going fast doesn't help your football team. And you've got to be able to maintain possession and stay on the field. And when you're able to get a first down, generally, and even the big tempo teams, that's when they go tempo. After they get a first down, the chains are moving, they're going tempo and they're going fast. And we have that plan, but when you're 2 of 12 on third down, it doesn't help you go fast. So that's something we want to get more snaps. We want to create some more tempo. We did in the game and some situationally. I thought Kurt called some nice situations where we were going to go to some tempo. We didn't execute it very well as players. We were a little bit slower getting a line. That's something we'll address with our players.
And secondly, you addressed it just briefly, but Brandon Powell continued to be more involved in the offense. Kind of seemed like he added something to the mix that you guys don't have elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. He plays extremely well in space. He's very reliable in protection. He catches the ball extremely well. He's a very smart football player.
Coach, with Treon being a freshman and still probably trying to learn the intricacies of your offense, does missing a week set him back at all? Is he behind the curve?
It would, being a freshman, it would mean more than a third or fourth year player, certainly. But again, we'll see it today. I mean, this will be his first day back with us, and so we're looking forward to getting him back in the fold.
Looking back on the 73-yarder to Robinson, should he have just kept going there? It seems like he danced and weaved and stopped and bopped and.
Well, again, I'll let instincts of a player take over in those situations. There are times that I think sometimes our guys need to trust their speed, and but again, he's been a very good playmaker for us in those situations.
Does he shy away from contact a little bit?
I don't think so.
Coach, did you get an explanation from Steve Shaw regarding the clock issue at the end?
I don't know. They said they released some statement. I didn't see it. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, what do you think Treon can bring to the offense?
Well, I think, again, a guy that has shown the ability to make some plays. To take the ball in the right spots, accurate with his passes. Has a certain confidence about him. I think that's been something that I've seen and noticed throughout his opportunities, though limited in game. But in practice, that's something that really jumps out at you, is his playmaking ability to be able to make those things happen.
Do the players have a lot of confidence in him?
Yeah, I think so.
Like
He's got a certain persona about himself, and that's why I think his last 2 years at Booker T, he was 30-0. That tells you something about him. He's a winner, and he certainly has a persona about him. Mm-hmm.
How would you evaluate the performance of the cornerback Saturday, more specifically Brian Poole and Jalen Tabor on the outset?
I thought Jalen did some nice things coverage-wise. We didn't get a lot of opportunities. He didn't get a lot of opportunities. I thought Quincy Wilson on the 1 third down conversion had outstanding coverage. I thought it was a good throw and catch. He's right there to make the play. You got to give them credit on that situation. I think Brian, disappointed with some lack of communication at times. Had some eye control issues at times. We got lost on a couple bootlegs on the backside that didn't hurt us, but certainly could have. So we need to. Brian's a good self-evaluator, and he'll knows what he needs to do to improve.
And the offensive line, too, just anything you like from them in particular, anything you
I think from a protection standpoint, they threw a lot at us. We didn't have any sacks, I think, but we're getting rid of the football in time. That's where it starts. But we didn't have any free runners on some situations where they ran some +1 pressures at us, and we did a nice job protecting. I wish we could have gotten a little more going in the run game at times.
Well, drops obviously continue to be a big problem, and I heard that you gave a strong defense for Chris Leak in your call-in show last week. Is there maybe something to that, though, with some of these older receivers having a couple of GAs who are promoted to be the wide receivers coach? Is that something?
Nobody can catch it for them. They got to catch the ball. We work on jugs. We work on any, hand-eye, a lot of that. So you can't catch it for them.
Also, considering that, is there a desire to have a little more scrutiny of some of these guys? You have obviously a lot of receivers that you can turn to. Are some of those older
Kurt Roper
receivers?
runs our passing game, whether Chris Leak's the receivers coach or whoever you want to bring in. Kurt Roper runs our passing game. And that's something in the interview process and talking to him, that he was going to have a large say-so and control of, and that's something that he does, and he does an outstanding job for it. We can't catch it for him.
One more question in this line, though. Obviously, you've expressed in the past many times how much practice is important to you in determining who plays what roles. Is there something to be said about guys who are perhaps earning those roles in practice but not delivering, and then having a little more scrutiny?
Well, I mean, I think that, we've seen Ahmad get a lot more opportunities. C.J. Wharton will continue to, and he did Saturday night. Brandon Powell's a guy that's as a playmaker, not necessarily at that position, but a guy that's figuring into that position as we move forward, and will continue to evolve there. And that's where guys continue to not be productive. You got to go another direction, and that's what we'll do.
Will, is the linebacker play where you want it right now?
I thought Antonio Morrison played his best football game Saturday night. A lot of times situations, and he's in the hole with the blocker, and he's getting off a block and making a play, which is very difficult to do. I thought Naran Ball's been very productive, extremely plays fast, plays physical. He's done a really nice job. I think Jared Davis has played really well. Mike's still coming off the knee a little bit, was slowed a little bit by the knee, in my opinion. And also coming off being sick. But I think Antonio Morrison played a really good football game. I think the last 2 games he has played extremely well, and I think we've gotten good production from the position. We've got to continue to get more production. Alex Anzalone got some snaps. We got cut on the edge where we lost a run on the left side. On that one, I do remember that one. We got cut on that one. But, we just got to continue to progress.
Well, can you just talk
Actually,
about?
that was on our right side. Are you talking about their left side or our right side? Your right. Their left, that was it. You got that one.
Well, can you discuss the play and emergence of Alex McAllister?
Yeah, Alex has done, continues to come on. He's a guy that, he's a 10-foot broad jumper, close to over 40-inch vertical leap, so he's got really good explosive power. He only played 2 years of high school football, so he was only about 220 pounds when we recruited him, but he had great frame, and he was a very good basketball player, so he has really good athleticism, change of direction, and a guy that you project to say, okay, in 2 years, is he going to weigh 245 pounds, 250 pounds? Can he hold the point? And we felt like his frame, he was big enough to do that. He's now consistently above 240, so he can hold the point. And he's got great length, which you can't coach, and you can't coach some of his athleticism. And him being a loose athlete and be able to flip his hips in the rush, he's got all of the attributes you want. It's just a matter of can he carry the weight and can he add strength, which he's been able to do.
And then the jet sweep with Andre DeBose. Obviously, he's had issues catching the ball in the past. This season, are you going to try and find ways to just get him more involved in that sense?
Well, we did, and we've got to utilize him more on we call the ghost situations where we bring the motion and still run the inside zone, and so everybody doesn't know what's happening. We ran it again in the second half. We ran it with Brandon Powell the next time we ran it. So, but there's no question Andre's a very explosive playmaker and getting more involved at times. Yeah.
Final question from Coach.
All righty, thank you.